At a conference very similar to this a while back, in between sessions, I was making some tea. And a lady came up to me, and she was making tea along with me. We were stirring our tea. And she started sharing with me her story, her life story. And she had been through things that I cannot even imagine. True tragedy. The whole time she's talking, in this brief encounter we had together, my mouth is open. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then as she's stirring her tea and she's finishing sharing her story, she said, you know, Trisha, if there's one thing I've learned, it's that life doesn't have to be so hard. I was like, wow. And you'd think I would be thinking, that's amazing that you've been through so much and you think life doesn't have to be so hard. But no. My reptilian brain was thinking, oh, really? Life doesn't have to be so hard. Do you have to make 3 nut-free lunches every single day, help run a couple businesses, do this? And my brain was like going off in my head. It was ridiculous. I couldn't believe I was feeling that way. She like hit a trigger inside of me. Anyone ever had a trigger that's been hit by something that someone has said? Right? We got to be aware of those, especially ignore them with your partners, though, because that's just a whole other beast. But what she said, it hit a trigger, and I just had to sit down for a minute and marinate in her wisdom. And I realized that day that I actually have a running theme in my life, that life does have to be so hard. And we all have running themes. And when I became aware of the theme, I almost was able to step out of it. And I was like, wow, I do make life harder than maybe it needs to be. And growing up in our music store, in our retail business, that's how I was raised. I was raised with, Trisha, you can do anything. Yes, you can, my tagline. But on the other side of that coin, you're going to have to sacrifice, and you're going to have to give things up, and it's going to be so hard. That's the way it is. But is it? And that one phrase that woman said really changed things for me. And I'm not sure if it resonates or hits home for you, but think about the themes going on in your life. How do you approach your daily work-life experience? Life does not have to be so hard. And if you're getting defensive in your mind right now and triggered, ask yourself why. What is the running theme? So the question is, how do we make life harder than it needs to be? I can give you one example. I am obsessed with pleather. I don't know why. I love pleather. If I see pleather, I try it on. You will not find me on stage without pleather. Is pleather the best option for being on stage? No. I am literally wrapped in saran wrap right now. I am sweating. I am moving around. I could hydrate with the amount of what's happening under here. But sometimes we make life a little harder than it needs to be. So with your BFF, very quickly, share one way in your life you make it harder than it needs to be. I'll give you 30 seconds to do that right now with your BFF. Thank you for sharing. I'm coming out into the audience. I'm not going to pick a victim. I promise. I will not look you in the eyes. But would anyone like to share how they make life harder than maybe it needs to be? Oh, well, that was really easy. Thank you. What's your name? Kaylin? Okay, do you want to share?
Probably take on too much, more than I should.
Mm-hmm. Saying yes a little too often. Anyone else here taking on too much? Saying yes too often?